everybody, it's Stephen here for Bland Designs and Idiot Quilter, and this is a special video today from Vancouver. Walter and I, as you probably know, are there right now when I'm making this recording, and it's right now it's April 18th, but what I'm going to do is highlight some of the things we saw yesterday on April the 17th. And yes, a couple of things before I go on. The sound is weird because the room that I'm in recording this reverberates and I can't do a thing about that. So don't worry, I'm not going to talk that long. The other thing I want you to know is that if you're looking for, if this is the first time you've come to my videos about Vancouver, I just want you to know that this is not a travel log or whatever you want to call it. It's not going to go into a lot of details about this, all the different things you can do in Vancouver, the sights, the sounds. This is just sort of a upfront personal reaction to various things we happened to come upon while we were out here. We've traveled a lot around the world, really, in our lives. And I used to do a lot of picture taking, then I did a lot of video and the whole thing with that. But what I find is now when we travel, we see what we see. What we don't see, we don't worry about. It's supposed to be, travel should be relaxing. And past trips we've done, we've always had a big list of must-dos. We don't on this one. Well, we have a few things we want to do, but we're really playing our detailed itinerary by ear each day. It involves a lot of walking, which is fine. We need the exercise. And yeah, so what I do with what I'm doing right now with my vlogs is I'm just putting together the day's events. I've taken little snippets, a video, I've done some pictures, I'm just melting them all together. I have my notes to keep myself straight as to what order and what you're going to see on each video. So that's how I'm going to progress through future videos for the next week and a half while we are out here out west. I am thinking of trying to do a video every day. I don't know if that'll happen or not. Maybe every other day, something like that. But anyways, I just thought I'd give you a little more background information about all of that. So let's take a look at what am I going to talk about today. Well, we decided to go to Granville Island, which you can walk over there, you can take a car over there, but it seems the best way to go is to take something called the Aqua Bus, which is a pedestrian ferry. We decided to buy a day pass, which for seniors is about $15 Canadian. And it doesn't just take you to Granville Island. You can hop on, hop off, and go to other sites along the way, as you're going to see later on in this video. So we did that. Granville Island has a huge market there as well that has all kinds of different foods, coffees, teas, things you can buy, all kinds of stuff like that. Fascinating place, really large. So you're going to see some video about that. You're going to see, let's see, just check my notes. Oh yes, while we were at Granville Island, there was a quilt store that I wanted to go to. I am finding that actually Vancouver does not have many. Well, actually, the only one I could find listed was the cloth shop. There was a fabric store in a not so nice part of town that we didn't go into. We just sort of explored the area the other day. And yeah, it's not really geared, I don't think, to quilters. Hiccups. When don't I make a video with hiccups? Let me have some coffee. So anyways, I do have some video for that, and I did buy, I said I wasn't going to buy much, and I didn't, but I saw a couple of fat quarter bundles that looked interesting, and I thought, you know I won't see those in the quilt stores in my area, so I nailed them. The price wasn't bad on them, and I also picked up a kit. It was a Christmas table runner, but I really like the colors in it. It's a very simple table runner kit, basically just putting strips of fabric together. But I did like the batiks that were in it, and it was half price, 50% off. So I think it was regularly $35, so I got it for, what's half of that, $17.50, something like that. So yeah, I picked that up. So all in total, I spent maybe about $130 in this store. And now everything is fitting in my suitcase, so don't worry, I don't have to do any shipping. But I don't anticipate, he says, famous last words, I don't anticipate that I will be doing much fabric buying while I'm out here for a variety of reasons. One, getting it home, okay? We do have a weight restriction. And two, it's got to be something really special that I just know I can't get anywhere else. So, and I've mentioned that before in past videos if you've seen them. Okay, so from there we did have a little snack while we were there. We got a coffee and we had a donut. Well, I had seen on a video that there was a place there called Lee's Donuts. They line up for them. They're supposed to be sensational. And they were good. They were good. We got a Dutch chocolate or something, Dutch crunch chocolate, something like that, and monster cookie. And the reason I got the monster cookie was it was the color. I just like the coloring on it. But they were good. They were very fresh. They make them right there. And yes, you do line up. Now the lineup when we were there was not huge or anything like that. But they did have it sort of roped off, so you could tell that at times, because their space is very limited in the market, that they only allowed so many people in at a time. So anyways, we didn't have that problem. We got the donuts. They weren't expensive. I have paid as much as $9, $10 for a donut, and these were like $2.50 each, and I don't know how much they were for a dozen. We didn't buy a dozen, but I didn't think that was a terrible price given the type of place it was and where it was located. And as I said, they were very fresh. Yeah, I feel that it was worth the money. So from there, after we finished walking around, and there's more than just the market there, there's all kinds of little shops and things like that. We didn't really go into any of the other shops except Clothworks because I'm really not interested in tchotchkes or stuff like that, you know, and souvenirs. I did all that kind of stuff, 20 years ago when we were traveling then. That's kind of out of my system. Although having said that, I am keeping my eyes kind of open if I can find something that will represent BC. That I can put with my miniature houses, because or you may not know, I have a collection of those Department 51 or Department 56, I think it's Department 56, little ceramic houses and stuff, which I stopped collecting many years ago. But I've added to the collection little things that I find that represent a place we've been. And although we've been to Vancouver out here before, many years ago, I hadn't started doing that then, so I don't have anything. And I'm thinking what would be most appropriate, and I'm hoping that in Victoria I can find something like this, is a totem pole, small little totem pole. I don't want a tacky totem pole though, not those kind of things that people buy for their kids when, they're out and about in places that have lots of Indigenous people there. I want something a little nicer, but we'll see. I'll just keep my eyes open for that. Okay, so what else? Yeah, we took the Aqua bus, got back on it, and went off to the Science Center. Now, I thought at the time it might be a good idea. I'm thinking in my head, okay, I haven't been to a Science Center in years. There's a great one in Toronto. It's famous, the Ontario Science Center, and I'm choking up here. Sorry. It's the climate, the weather. Yes, it is dull, it is gray. I don't think it's raining at the moment, but it's still yucky looking. But we're not going to let that stop us. Anyways, as I was saying, I'm just looking at my notes here. Yeah, so I thought it'd be a good idea to go to the Science Center because it was a little drizzly. It was a little cold too. So, be a nice warm place. It's always interesting, the Science Center, lots of things you can put your hands on and push buttons and things like that. And I'm thinking to myself, yes, I know that there's always, it's a big attraction for kids, but it's Monday. There won't be that many kids there. Wrong. There were school trips. Didn't think about that at all. Oh, these little darlings were just all over everything. Yeah, we had to disinfect when we went out of there because their little hands were just on everything. But anyways, we couldn't take too much of that, and it isn't that big. I was really sadly disappointed. We got the seniors discount, and it still cost us for two of us over $50. So yeah, it was a letdown, and I have a little video clip of my commentary about why we were disappointed with the Science Center. And that's two places on this trip we've been disappointed in that cost us some money. One was the art gallery, and the other one was the Science Center. Now, I know there'll be some of you who will defend both of those places and say when you were there or you went to those places, it was absolutely wonderful, and I'm happy for you. Maybe we hit both these places at the wrong time. I have no idea. I don't care. Because I won't be going back. No. So as I said, remember, this is just my opinion. It's just my gut reactions to things. You know, you need to discover these things on your own, have your own opinion about it. And I hope your experience is better than ours in those two places. Is this putting a damper on our vacation? No, of course it's not. I'm glad we went to those two places. Now we know what we weren't missing. So yeah, that, and then where did we go from there? I have a few pictures of the Science Center. Oh yes, and while we were in the Science Center, because of all the kids and everywhere, I didn't take really any video, except there's one little tiny video clip of, this was kind of neat. This one I thought was kind of the highlight, you might say, of the Science Center. You stood in front of a video wall kind of a thing, and you could see yourself, but then comical costumes would be thrown on you as well. And if you walked around it or by it, the costumes would change. So it was a little virtual reality kind of thing. But I thought it was kind of fascinating. So I did take a little video of that, of Walter and I getting dressed up by the AI, and then some stills as well. And there's a few stills in here that you're going to go, what the heck is that? Scary pictures of Walter. Well, they had something about skin, and they had some kind of a thing you sat in front of it. It had a special lights. I think it might have been UV light, and it really showed the imperfections on your face that you don't really see with the naked eye, like freckles and things like that. It's kind of gruesome looking. But anyways, I thought it was kind of funny, so I took a couple of pictures of Walter looking into it as well for your amusement. And then we got back onto the Aquabus and went to some place called Yaletown. Now this is a section of Vancouver that has a lot of restaurants, a lot of high-end restaurants as well. So we walked around there, and eventually we settled on a place for lunch called the Yaletown Brewery, which was actually very nice. Walter had, what did Walter have? Oh, he had a brisket, which he said was really good, brisket sandwich, and I had the buttered chicken, which was also very good. And the decor is kind of cool inside too, brewery looking, of course. And we did, of course, try their Yaletown Brewery beer a couple of times. And then we stumbled, then we walked back to the hotel, and my legs were killing me. I'm not used to this much exercise, which is sad because I really should get more exercise. But anyways, I'm fine today. I'm really glad I brought my Aleve tablets with me, as they do help. But I'm fine this morning. I was just a little stiff, but I was tired, really tired. And we just had the television running nonsense on it, and I was dozing off on the couch. So I got up at about 9 o'clock off the couch, and I basically went to bed. And yeah, I'm up now, and it is 7:07 in the morning, Vancouver time. The weather here is, like I said, drizzly, wet, cold. Very conducive to it, a vacation, right? And so what we're going to do today is we got to go pick up our rented car, and that's just a block away from where we are right now. Like I said, Walter is an excellent travel agent. He always picks hotels that are in the center of everything, but close to all of your amenities and whatnot. And then we have about an hour's drive to the ferry docks to take the ferry across to Victoria to Vancouver Island. And they do have some very stiff regulations. We've already booked our ferry and everything. You have to book it in advance. But they have a time when you're going to go out, and they do not want you getting there too early. In fact, if you get there too early and you try to line up for the ferry, they will cancel your ferry reservation. And they do. So we will be there in plenty of time, because I think our ferry goes out at around, it's either around 1 or noon, something like that. Anyways, we will be definitely early, but there's a mall or something in around there. And I think what we'll probably do is maybe go into the mall, grab something to eat, look around, whatnot, just kill some time until we can actually get into the line for the ferry, and away we go. And the ferry is about, I think it takes about almost 2 hours to get across to the island. And then from there, we've got about another 30-40 minute drive to Victoria, to the hotel we're staying at in Victoria. And yeah, and then we're spending a couple of days in Victoria. So that's basically what the next video will be after this one. Will probably be our journey on the ferry into Victoria and whatever else we do at that point in time. So I hope you enjoy today's video clips, and we'll see you soon. Okay, so this is our second day in Vancouver, and we've decided that we take the Aqua bus, and we're going to go from main part of the city, there's the bridge, down to in this area here. And we bought day passes so that we can go all day long to the different spots, because it goes different areas. We're headed over to Granville Island, which, where is Granville? Is that Granville?
Right there.
With the boats in front of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the dock is in my way.
Fun there.
Yeah, well, I don't want to. Water looks a little cold. But anyways, that's where we're headed towards. And that's where the market is. And many of you have asked us about the market. Well, we're going to find that out today. And there's also a quilt store over here called Cloth Works, which I'm going to check out. But as I said before, I'm not buying stuff unless there's something I really see and think it's just wonderful, phenomenal for many reasons. Okay, we just got off the Aqua bus, and here's a view of the city from Granville Island. As you can see, the island is built underneath this bridge. Technically, it's not an island, it's a peninsula. So I heard on one YouTube video, but it's man-made, and it was made, I think, back in the 1920s or earlier than that for industrial expansion. But those businesses all went out, and they created this that we're about to explore. So let's see what we will see. And this is the market, so you can get your fresh fruit and veggies here. Macarons. Very much the range of what one in Toronto. Yeah. St. Lawrence Market, yeah. Okay, so it took a little doing, but we found it. The cloth shop is right there where those people are going in, so we'll see. So on a video I saw, someone recommended you had to try the donuts at Lee's Donuts. So we did, we stood in line, it wasn't a very long line, and we got a couple and I forgot to take a picture of them. So this is what's left of the Dutch, what was it, Dutch chocolate?
Yeah, Dutch chocolate.
And
what makes it Dutch?
This was Cookie Monster. And we got some coffee as well. They're nice and fresh. And yeah, as donuts go, I guess they're good donuts.
Yeah.
To die over? Not really, but price wasn't bad either. $2.50 for a donut. So I would have thought, I mean, we had a donut in Australia that was like $8 or something.
And it was stale.
And it was stale, yeah. So, you know, taking that into consideration, yeah, I think this was okay and they were good. And I don't think the price is out of the way. So if you're down here in the market on Granville Island, you might want to, if you like donuts, try Lee's Donuts. And that's the science center, the big ball. And it's like this is the hurricane. I don't have the hurricane, but I should have got it. Anyway, but I ate some more time for half an hour. This time I'll get there and I can walk. Yeah, that's brutal. Let's get to that one. That's nice. That's what you take a card. You take a card. This first one, you gotta stand up. Okay. Good think about that. Really good way to take a card. That's BC Place. I looked at my book. It was Okay, so we took the aqua bus down here to the Science Center and it's right there. And you see in the background, you can see the mountains. It's really quite picturesque. And notice no rain so far. Overcast, yes, but no rain. And it is a little bit on the chilly side, but that's to be expected, I guess. Pick your costume. There it is. Oh, fancy dress fall. Okay, so we just came from the Science Center, and it's right there behind me. And, okay, we were stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. I know Science Centers have children there, school children. They take them on trips, and they get to push all the buttons and everything with their grubby little fingers and their little tongues hanging out and licking things and drooling on things. But as Science Centers go, this was another letdown. Not just because there were a ton of kids there. I mean, you have to expect that. But, and maybe if you are 5 years old or 7 years old, it's exciting. But when you're our age, well,
there wasn't there that was really all that interesting or that exciting. And in fact, it seemed to be lacking a lot on things for the kids to do. And
Not only that, they had a lot of things that if there was a lot of people there, you couldn't really do. Like there are a lot of things with sound and stuff because there's a lot of screaming and stuff like that going on.
you couldn't hear
You
anything.
couldn't hear anything.
And
Of course, we're old. So.
yeah, we're old, so we have hard time hearing. The other thing too was half of the exhibitions in there didn't seem to work the way they were supposed to work, or didn't seem to work at all. And they looked very worn and overused as well, which is probably why they didn't work. But it cost us, well, what did it cost us?
$26.75 or something like that.
Yeah, we got the seniors discount, thank God for that.
Well, it's only $5 off. So
Yeah. So, I mean, it cost us, again, almost $60 for this thing. And I'm rating it up there along with the art gallery. Like, it's just piss poor sad. What is the problem out here? Are our expectations too high? I don't think they are. It's just like, well, they're charging you an arm and a leg for nothing. Yeah, really. So,
Their stuff's all free.
unless you have little tiny kids with you in Vancouver, I do not recommend the Science Center. It's worn. It needs upgrading. It's just not worth it. It's really not. So we're just waiting for the Aqua bus to come here to take us to some place called Yale Town. And what is Yale Town?
It's a place where they have a lot of bars, restaurants, and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
It's within walking distance back there.
Do they have children?
I
hope
think there's children everywhere.
Not just little things. But speaking of children, okay, here's another criticism of the Science Center. There was one room where they had these gizmos for shooting balls with air into big things above and in the water and that. But the thing was, if the kids missed, there were balls all over the floor. Like, okay, definitely something that is not a safety feature for senior citizens, you know. So another thing that just, okay, boggles my mind. Gives you an idea of what the rich people drive as far as boats are concerned. So we just got off the little ferry, and it's dropped us off at an area of Vancouver called Yale Town, which is a lot of restaurants and bars and things like that down here.
We can easily walk around here, go up to Davie Village.
Yeah, we could try that.
Davie, this is Davie here.
Oh,
So you can just keep walking.
just keep walking and see. Okay, well, we're just going to walk and see. Well, we're in Yale Town, and we're having lunch at the Yale Town Brewery. And Walter's busily memorizing the menu, as you can see, trying to figure out what he's going to have. Have you figured it out?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have smoked brisket sandwich.
Okay. And what are you having with the smoked brisket sandwich?
Well, I'm debating about fries or greens. I don't know what lettuce cups are.
You can ask them.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to have the buttered chicken here. So this is what the place looks like. Of course, we're having beer. So again, we're doing our late lunch kind of thing, because this is late lunch, probably dinner as well with it. So yeah,